Which player is more valuable for the Celtics? Is it Al Horford or is it Kyrie Irving? Trags, I will let you have the floor. Who you got, Kyrie Irving or Al Horford?
Based on the numbers, it's obviously Al Horford because the Celtics are like minus 2,000 with him off the court and like plus 200 with him on the court. But seriously, it's Al Horford by the numbers. The Celtics aren't going anywhere without him playing substantial minutes, 35 to 38 minutes a game in the postseason, and that's what we're talking about. However, the caveat, the asterisk is the Celtics aren't finishing games without Kyrie Irving. Want proof? Look at Friday night against Indiana Pacers. Who were the two players involved in the final game-winning play? It was Al Horford setting a screen, setting the play for Brad Stevens, handing it off to Kyrie, and clutch Kyrie nailing the layup with half a second to go. That essentially, to me, is what the Celtics are all about coming down the stretch here in the postseason, but Al Horford really makes the Celtics machine work throughout the game. He spreads the court better than anybody. He is the most consistent defender on the Celtics. I think that's been proven, especially in his work against Joel Embiid of the 76ers, Al Horford.
Good point, good point. Yeah, he's definitely the anchor of the defense. Gets it done on both ends of the floor. All right, good point. Valid argument, Trags.
I try.
Sierra, who do you got?
You know, I think it's clear to say that Kyrie Irving is the more talented player. He has the clutch gene. He's an elite point guard overall in the league. But I have to agree with Trags, and value to the Celtics team, I think you have to go Al Horford because of the way he affects how the other team defends the Celtics. It makes Kyrie better, makes him get more shots, because when Al Horford's off the court, they can clog up the lane, no one can drive to the hoop, they have to rely on outside shots. Yeah. And Al Horford is so versatile. He's not a regular big man who just kind of bangs around under the hoop. He can step out, and he's a great, excellent scorer. So the way he affects his teammates around him makes Al Horford the more valuable player on this team.
All right, wow. 2-0.
I would also...
I thought it would be split. You guys are both going Al. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And to your point, Sierra, about Kyrie, I wouldn't say he's the more talented player. He's the more explosive player.
He's a more proficient scorer, clearly.
Absolutely. And the Celtics are going to need that in the playoffs because defense cranks up in the play. We all know that. It's one of those.
I mean, the ball's not going to Al Horford in a tight situation. It's going to Kyrie.
All right, well, we'll see. We'll see. This segment is powered by BetOnline.ag. Head over to CLNSmedia.com/win and enter the promo code CLNS50. You get 50% bonus on your first deposit when you go to CLNSmedia.com/win. Enter the promo code CLNS50. So, one thing I got to say about that, though, Al Horford has in the past hit big shots down the stretch, so he can also be clutch for you.
Yes.
And also, let's not forget, to your point also, Trags, yeah, Kyrie Irving did hit the game winner last Friday here at TD Garden, but Al Horford was the one who set that play up, And of course, that was a call made by Brad Stevens, but you look at other bigs across the league, not a lot of guys are going to do that. Not a lot of guys can take the ball up the floor, find their guys, set up someone like Kyrie Irving, and then he's a threat from the outside, from the perimeter.
He is the best big man facilitator in the NBA. Period. End of discussion. And you go back to the playoffs 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when the Celtics started really getting good in the playoffs and advancing. Look at Al Horford's numbers, his plus-minus numbers, and his ability to distribute in those playoff games. Al Horford, without question, was the key to their playoff runs, and then you add Kyrie to the mix. He didn't get a chance to play in the playoffs last year, but I'm fascinated to see what Kyrie and Al do in the playoffs this year.
I'm glad you brought the 76ers because you look at someone like Joel Embiid, I always see him as a big man who sort of shies away from those big moments, whereas Al Horford, he lives for those big moments, and of course, so does Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, that comes with experience too. Al Horford is experienced and he's comfortable in his own skin. He's comfortable with his game. You can tell he doesn't have that tenseness to him in tight situations. You can count on him to stay calm and stay confident in his game, which I think is huge, and I think will come with time with Joel Embiid because he's an excellent player.
Right. One thing I want to add, guys, is when Marcus Smart was asked after the game Monday night, when they survived the Miami Heat, what is it about the Celtics and Al Horford being on the court? He said one word: confidence. We're confident as a group that everybody's going to be in the right spot at the right time because of Al, and that's it's remarkable that you would say that about a power forward.
Right, and it's for someone like Al Horford, who has over 100 playoff games under his belt. That's something that no other Celtics player can say for this team, for this Boston Celtics team. That's the kind of experience that you're going to carry over into the playoffs, and that the Celtics are, of course, going to need in the postseason. But now it's your turn. Let us know in the comment section, what do you think? Which player is more valuable for this Boston Celtics team? Is it Kyrie Irving or is it Al Horford?